Images that we're getting to you from the Veerbhadra temple in Lepakshi of Andhra Pradesh. The Prime Minister visiting this temple, and it's of huge significance because he is right now on an 11-day Anushthan after visiting a temple in Nashik in Maharashtra. In fact, this was in Panchavati, where Prime Minister Modi visited because of the significance it has of the Ramayana. Now you have him in Andhra Pradesh. This is, in fact, where the Prime Minister is also going to be hearing verses from the Ranganatha Ramayana, which is in Telugu. Let's cut across live. So that's the Prime Minister offering puja there in the Veerbhadra temple. Why this particular temple? First of all, of course, it's beautiful, has an amazing history also behind it. Lepakshi is the place where Jatayu, after being grievously injured by Ravan, fell. It's said that this was the point where Jatayu had fell, and that's why there is a temple there. It's considered to be extremely, extremely sacred. And the Prime Minister, after this, tomorrow is also going to be visiting the Guruvayur temple in Kerala. Remember, just a few days ago, he visited the Sri Ram Mandir in Nashik, Panchavati, which is situated on the banks of the Godavari River. It said that it was here that Lord Ram, Sita Ma and Lakshman were during their exile in the forests of Panchavati. So from there to now Lepakshi, where in fact it's said, and the epics say that this is where Jatayu fell. Gaurav Sawant is joining us with more details on this. Gaurav, hugely significant that while the Prime Minister is currently on an 11-day Anushthan, he's visiting these temples that hold huge significance, particularly to Lord Ram. Okay, we'll reconnect with Gaurav in just a bit. But as part of, in fact, this darshan that the Prime Minister is seeking there in Lepakshi, where he is at the Veerbhadra temple, he's also going to be hearing verses of the Ramayana. This is going to be in Telugu, so this is the Ranganatha Ramayana that the Prime Minister will be listening to. Remember, a few days ago, before he officially kicked off his Anushthan, the Prime Minister did mention that despite, in fact, having such a busy schedule, he is going to try and ensure that he gets prepared in every possible manner for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. And part of it is this beautiful ritual that he is a part of in every temple linked to Lord Ram, to the epic. Gaurav Sawant is back with me. Gaurav, few days ago we had the Prime Minister in Nashik, in Panchavati, now in Lepakshi. Huge significance really to these temples that the Prime Minister is visiting.
You're absolutely right. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was at Panchavati and right now he's at Lepakshi. Lepakshi holds a very, very special place in the Ramayana. Why does this hold a special place? Because it's in Lepakshi where Jatayu was grievously wounded by Ravan when Ma Sita was being abducted. You recall that story. Jatayu ji fought Ravan. He tried to save Sita ji, and that was his attempt. But the dying Jatayu, incidentally, he stayed alive till the time he was able to convey to Lord Ram that Ravan had taken Sita ji to Lanka, and he died in Lord Ram's arms. The last rites of Jatayu ji were done by Lord Ram himself, and this actually helped him attain moksha. So imagine when Maryada Purushottam himself does the last rites of Jatayu ji. So that is the significance of this temple. You'd recall recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi was at the Ram Mandir in Nashik. Earlier, Prime Minister was at Panchavati on the banks of river Godavari. He offered prayers at the Ram Mandir. He heard verses related to, the Ayodhya Agaman of Bhagwan Ram in Marathi. So today it's in Telugu. A couple of days earlier it was in Marathi. this actually shows, Akshita, how Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram and his journey unites our country in one bond. We listen to those sacred verses in Telugu today. We heard them in Marathi 3 days earlier. We will hear them in Sanskrit in Avdi, the Ramcharitmanas in Avdi, in some days in Ayodhya ji. There are so many Kathavachaks who are narrating this story and taking it to the new generation.
Very, very true. And Gaurav, the significance of each of these temples, of the Prime Minister being there and praying just before the Pran Pratishtha, speaks volumes of really how much the Prime Minister is also ensuring that he's engaging to his very core with the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, ensuring, as he said in his own words, that spiritually, physically, mentally, he gets himself fully prepared for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. And in his busy schedule, Gaurav, he's on an 11-day Anushthan. And part of that, of course, part of the rituals, part of the ceremony, he's also ensuring that he visits all of these temples, so carefully chosen, to ensure that the significance and the message of Lord Ram is for everyone really echoes through the country.
If you notice the journey throughout, the journey that Lord Ram had taken when he was on that 14-year-long Vanvas, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not only visiting some of those places, but you would also recall that the government, the culture ministry is working very extensively on the Ramayana circuit. So Sri Ram devotees can take this Ramayana circuit, whether by train or in buses, a proper circuit of the journey that Lord Ram took when he left Ayodhya ji, crossed river Ganga at Prayagraj, where Nishad Raj Kevat helped him cross the river. That's a holy place, his journey and his stay at Panchvati. And he spent a long time, Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram, Bhaiya Lakshman and Ma Sita spent a long time in Panchvati. By some accounts, close to 11 of those 14 years were spent in Panchvati. So the temple there, the journey through Chitrakoot, again, that is big right now. And then when you move beyond to Lepakshi, then journey through Karnataka, then Rameshwar, where he prayed to Lord Shiv, where he sought his blessings to cross the ocean and then get to Lanka. So all of this is part of the Ramayana circuit, and government of Sri Lanka now is cooperating and coordinating, in fact, seeking more, religious tourism to take, religious pilgrims all the way to where they say is the Ashok Vatika and Ravan's Mahal in Sri Lanka.
Okay, very, very interesting, in fact. And tomorrow you're going to see the Prime Minister also at the Guruvayur temple in Kerala. So as part of, in fact, his visits to different parts of the country, as part of his busy schedule, he's also managing to squeeze in a visit to a significant temple before the Pran Pratishtha ceremony takes place on January 22nd. A few days ago, you had these images from Nashik, from the Ram Mandir, which is also hugely significant because this is, in fact, in the Panchvati district, again linked to the Ramayana. So from there now, he is in Andhra Pradesh, in Lepakshi, in the Veerbhadra temple, where in some time from now, he's going to be taking part in listening to verses of the Ramayana in Telugu. And so the Prime Minister is ensuring that he takes part in celebrations of Lord Ram. In every single state, it is very different. The celebration of Lord Ram, the temples of Lord Ram are so very different, and that diversity is brought together essentially in the celebration of Lord Ram, which is what the Prime Minister is currently highlighting as well. As part of his preparations for the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, Gaurav, can you also highlight what the Prime Minister is doing? When we say an Anushthan, when we say that 11 days he's holding a fast, he's going to be following all the rituals as prescribed in the Vedas, what does that really look like?
So the Prime Minister's office had reached out to the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra and wanted to know, as Yajman, what is it that he's expected to follow. The Anushthan actually means all the discipline that Yajman is meant to follow, whether it is fasting, what kind of food can he eat, what cannot he eat, is he only supposed to be on Palahar, or is he supposed to only drink water, before he is the Yajman at the Pran Pratishtha. So all of those details were gathered for the Prime Minister after speaking to a lot of rishis, sages, seers and saints, and also going through all the scriptures whatever is mentioned in the scriptures was then conveyed to the Prime Minister. So that 11-day Anushthan for the Prime Minister does include he's fasting through these 11 days. He's visiting these religious places. He'll be wearing unstitched clothes. So it is dhoti, angvastram, and this is what we've been told, of course, subject to verification by the Prime Minister's office. So there's a certain kind of clothes that the Prime Minister is meant to wear, a dip in the holy Saryu River, and purification, then atonement for a lot of, all of those rituals are followed by the Prime Minister before he sits as the Yajman for the Pran Pratishtha, which is truly being described as a civilizational moment for Bharat when Ram Lalla's idol will be at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple, something for which devotees have waited by some accounts for close to 500 years, Akshata.
That's right. And you have now the Prime Minister, more images really coming in of him speaking to the priests, understanding, learning the significance of the temple as well. And the Prime Minister dressed traditionally also, wearing that beautiful silk shawl. He's wearing a dhoti, which is called pancha in Telugu. So he's wearing that, walking around the temple, and will also be very soon hearing verses of the Ramayana in Telugu, which is also hugely, hugely significant.